welcome everybody and remind you of your cell phones. Put them on silent. And I'd also like to recognize Travis. Thank you very much for the lunches. Travis, you want to say something? Travis is one of the favorites in the building. He's really good to work with. If you ever have any questions or anything, please look to him. Yeah, put a little heat on you there, Travis. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. So committee, we'll start with the Department of Commerce presentation. Welcome to the committee.
There we go. Thank you. So a couple of things I just want to quickly go over, just a highlight of what we're going to talk about today. My job is I oversee the business development unit within the Department of Commerce. We wear a number of hats within that business development unit. One of those is business attraction and recruitment, business retention and expansion, foreign direct investment, our business finance and incentives office, as well as our Office of Small Business Development as well. So we'll go over just a quick highlight and a recap of 2024 in the business development function. Give you a quick overview of some of the updates to the transparency database, and then we'll go into just some reporting over some of our programs that are required by statute. And then at that point, I will stand for questions following. So with that, just a quick overview of 2024 in the Business Development Division and with the Department of Commerce. So in 2024, we had 269 successful attraction or business retention and expansion projects within the state of Kansas. Give some perspective to that, over the entire year, the entire team did bring in 399 active opportunities into our project pipeline. So we are pretty proud of this number. We have just over 5,000 committed new and retained jobs over the year. And then we had our third highest year as far as committed capital, private capital investment into the state of Kansas. At $3.5 billion. Quick snapshot back over to the committed new and retained jobs. Of those, average salaries of those projects with those jobs are actually 115% of the state's median wage. So that is pretty something we're pretty proud of. So going into our transparency database, over the last year or so, the agency has really worked diligently to improve this database for following some of the comments from the legislature. Now, as a user-friendly search function, we've incorporated a variety of browse by features, and we also provide information for the legislature that is organized by legislative district. If you haven't visited the database recently, I certainly encourage you to do so. We have provided in the slide deck, if you're curious, there is a QR code here and also a link that you can utilize to actually access that transparency database. We've also provided as an addendum to this presentation a set of maps that really gives you a holistic view of really the touch points of commerce over the entire state of Kansas. First map in that addendum is really just all of our programs and where the distribution is throughout Kansas, and then we kind of dive down and dive a little bit deeper into the individual programs and some of our business development successes. So I'd like to just quickly go through some of our statutory programs, PEAK in particular. So PEAK stands for Promoting Employment Across Kansas. We love our acronyms in commerce, but also just across economic development as well. So the program is really designed to help recruit companies and jobs to Kansas by allowing them to retain up to 95% of withholding taxes generated by new employees. This is really one of our main primary incentive programs that the state offers in business recruitment. and really is one of our most important tools in our business recruitment tool belts as well. In 2024, we had 34 companies sign new peak agreements, and currently we have over 200 active peak agreements that the Department of Commerce manages, specifically within our legal office, but also within our Office of Incentives and Business Finance. Over 1.4 billion in total payroll generated, 62.4 million in Kansas individual income tax withholding. And then as we kind of get into the later slides of this presentation, we'll walk through some of the peak projects that are active and that we worked through in this last calendar and fiscal year. A couple of things I will touch as we go through this. There's a few that I do want to point out that are, unique projects that our team really had a lot of just impact with and was really excited to point out as we kind of put this presentation together for the committee. So a few on this page. Allen County, the B&W custom truck beds, they're really a rural success story. They've continued to grow significantly and one of the largest employers in southeast Kansas. Cherokee County, the Tamco Building Products. This is an HQ relocation from Missouri to Galena, Kansas. As you can see, I'm still new to Kansas in this last year. As we get into some of these concurrent projects here, in Doniphan County, we have Summit Truck Bodies. According to our records, this is the second largest business expansion ever in Doniphan County, so we're pretty proud of this one. Amar Company, which is a garage door manufacturer, they've experienced multiple expansions in recent years within Kansas, and we're excited that this is concurrently just a Kansas success story as well. As we get down into kind of page 6 here, Finney County, Mize & Sons Trucking, this is a family-owned business. They're really experiencing a lot of growth in rural Colwick, Kansas. Ford County, NORAM, which is a Logistics South, it's a large cold storage facility. And this is one of those within our pipeline and what we've seen as far as our demand. We've really seen a large uptick in the demand for cold storage facilities. So this is one that we're really excited about that is in Kansas. Page 7, Johnson County, American Multi-Cinema. This is a corporate headquarters that moved to Leawood. Page 8 here, Johnson County, which is one of the ones that I want to point out is B&E Aerospace. This is an aircraft parts manufacturer that expanded in the Lennox. We're pretty proud of that. Page 9, DH Pace Company is a corporate headquarters for a manufacturer of herbicides, insecticides, and other related products. Let's see here, page 10. Hostess Brands, we have a peak participation helping to promote the business's growth, and we have a warehouse and distribution center in Edgerton. We're also working with them in a variety of other projects right now that we have in our pipeline, so we're pretty excited to have them. It's a really good brand for us. On page 11 here, Integris Biosciences, they're a new pharmaceutical testing lab in Olathe, Kansas. Page 12, PBI Gordon Companies, which is a corporate headquarters. They're also insecticides and other related products. Page 13, we have Propio LS. They're a rapidly growing company in Overland Park. They provide solutions and products for multilingual communication strategies. Page 14, Johnson County, we have Tesseract Ventures. This is really an interesting company in an emerging technology in unmanned aerial systems, but ultimately they're an emerging and growing company that develops integrated command and control systems that enhance decision-making across the military, agriculture, and construction sectors. And their founder, John, is actually a recipient of the state's Welcome Back Award in 2023. So we're excited that we can help facilitate business growth and bring folks back to Kansas that have success stories like this. Page 15, in Johnson County, we have the WellSky Corporation. This company has experienced steady growth in recent years, partly supported through peak participation, but the company is in the healthcare and technology sector and employs high-wage tech jobs. Page 16, Lyon County. We're pretty excited about Simmons Pet Food. They're an Emporia-based company that's grown significantly in recent years. They're a leader in pet food manufacturing in that sector. And they've expanded to include warehouse space in Johnson County as well. On page 17 in Nemaha County, Winger Manufacturing. This is another rural success story. Company is an industry leader in food production equipment manufacturing. They also have facilities in Cherokee County. It's really a cornerstone in the Kansas economy. Page 18 in Saline County, Great Plains Manufacturing. This is a really good success story for Kansas. Company has really quite a few facilities in Kansas, mostly in rural communities, as that's one of they're a champion of rural communities. And they're an extremely valuable Kansas employer. I think across the line, I think they employ over 1,000 jobs within Kansas, so we're pretty excited about that. Page 19, Sedgwick County, Relay USA Corporation. This is a manufacturer who has experienced growth in recent years. And they have really expanded by the participation of the PEAK program. And then page 20 in Shawnee County, Torgerson Electric Company, they're an electrical contractor with a headquarters in Topeka, who has also expanded into Manhattan as well. Page 21, Sherman County, the Schuyler Company, they're a national logistics firm specializing in agricultural supply chain, and they have over 15 plus locations within Kansas. Mostly of those are in rural areas. Page 22, Wyandotte County, Old Dominion Freight Line. This is a peak participation project that helped them have a significant expansion of their facility within Bonner Springs. You may have noticed throughout this, there's a couple of underneath the agreement status tabs. Some are completed, some are active, some are terminated. If they are in the terminated stance, that is because the company either doesn't meet the requirements for the program no longer, or they due to lack of timely reporting, lack of creation of jobs, and that's our team working to work through to actually terminate their contract with the peak agreement. So as we get into the HPIP program, HPIP stands for the High Performance Incentive Program within Kansas. This is a tax incentive for qualifying employers that pay above average wages. We require that really, you can see in this chart here, so in fiscal year 21, if you go to the number of tax credit transfer requests, we have 0, but it started to creep up from that point. Fiscal year 20 is when we changed to allow tax credit transfers. And you can see that ramp up is starting to really gain in popularity and impact for some of the companies that actually take advantage of this. HPIP provides a 10% tax credit that is eligible for capital investment of at least $50,000 at the company's facility. And that's for the most part in rural communities or non-metro counties. For metro counties, and these are the 5 counties of Douglas, Johnson, Sedgwick, Shawnee, and Wyandotte, that threshold is $1 million as a CapEx requirement. The tax credit does have a 16-year carry forward, provided facilities that can also requalify for HPIP within that period. And then in fiscal year 2024, we had 63 initial project certifications with 362 certifications issued. Total estimated capital investment from these projects is right around $7.3 billion. And then subsequently, similar to the other peak slides, a couple of projects that I did want to just quickly point out to the committee on here. On this page, in Allen County, B&W custom truck beds, wrong page here. On page 24 in Anderson County, we have East Kansas Agri Energy. This facility used HPIP multiple times over the years to support their investment in upgraded equipment for alternative fuel production in Kansas. Crawford County, Miller's Inc. company had benefited from HPIP participation over the years to facilitate investment in new technology necessary to remain a leader within their respective industry. In page 25, in Franklin County, Retail Distribution West, within this facility, it's actually a distribution center for American Eagle, and HPIP has helped support the expansion of their logistics capabilities throughout. In Jackson County, Jacksonville LLC is a sausage and related product manufacturing facility. It's a major employer in Jackson County, and they've experienced pretty significant growth across the last few years. Page 26, in Johnson County, we have Eurofins LLC. They're a vendor for the testing of infectious diseases. They provide multiple bioscience high-wage jobs within Kansas. We're pretty excited about that. Page 27 in Johnson County as well. NetSmart Technologies, they provide custom computer programming services. There are also high-wage tech jobs within Johnson County. Page 28 here in Lebec County, we have Alexander Manufacturing. This is a longtime family-owned company who has used HPIP to support new investment in equipment and facility improvements. Page 29 in Marshall County, Landau Manufacturing. This is really a cornerstone of Kansas economy and rural success story. They're a manufacturer of farm equipment and machinery, and they've really done well and expanded over the years. Page 29 in Miami County, back a slide. Taylor Forge Engineering Systems. This company has facilities in both Paola and Greeley, and has used HPIP multiple times to facilitate investment in equipment and facilities. Page 30 in Neosho County, Ash Grove Cement Company, which is a large cement producer, has benefited from HPIP. Significant equipment and capacity upgrades at their plant. Page 30 as well in Potawatomi County, Radiation Detection Technologies. This is a company that provides a really high-tech job and high-wage jobs. They actually manufacture cutting-edge sensors and devices for the radiation detection and a semiconductor space. So it really plays into some of the key sectors that we're trying to grow here in Kansas. They're also an awards recipient of the Business Innovation category, which we're proud of that success story. Slide 31 here in Saline County, SFC Global Supply Chain is an HPIP project that helped facilitate expansion for the Schwann's Company, pizza manufacturing facility. We're excited that they're continuing to invest in Kansas, and they are a major employer. Page 32, Sedgwick County, Younger and Sons Manufacturing Company. This company has used HPIP multiple times. They're a producer of precision machining parts and welding assemblies. They're a locally family-owned business and a local success story as well. Page 33, Thomas County. They're Roadrunner Manufacturing LLC is a company that used HPIP twice in recent years to really help growth and expansion. They're located in rural Levant, Kansas, and they manufacture a variety of sprayer trailers, transport, combine, fuel, drop deck, etc. But they've been in business since about 2000 and employ locals that are in that community. Then one last that I'd like to point out in Wilson County is Tyndall Construction, rural success story, family-owned company involved in construction and fabrication industries as well. Ultimately, I highlight these for the committee just to bring up to everybody's attention at what these programs can do and the impacts they have on our local success stories and business growth. So getting into the next slide here, the Rural Opportunity Zone Program, or ROZ for short, was introduced back in 2012 as Commerce's workforce, one of Commerce's workforce recruitment tools. The goal of this program really is, in a nutshell, to attract residents to rural areas where population losses have been the steepest. The program really offers two individual financial incentives: income tax credit or student loan repayment assistance. On the student loan side, requires a sponsorship from a county, a foundation, or an employer. And the benefit is $3,000 per participant for 5 years. And then the state income tax credit is 100% of the participant income tax liability for a 5-year span. So there's a couple of changes over the 2024 program. We recognize that some of the restrictions of the program were limiting use of the program from folks that move back to the respective territories. So we made some updates to the eligibility requirements. So Kansas youth that returns to their rural hometowns after completing college or technical school are now eligible to participate in this program. Anyone who's completed a residency, internship, or student teaching program are also eligible to stay in the rural community where they completed this requirement as well. This slide really showcases the impact and what's actually been used. 95 of the 95 eligible counties offer this student loan repayment assistance. 40 counties offer sponsorship of the program, and then 11 cities offer city sponsorship. And then all 95 counties offer income tax credit components as well. This is a map, I don't believe this may be included in your addendum, or it might just be in the slide deck here, but this really kind of showcases who the annual participants are within the program. Hopefully we provided you with color copies so that you can actually see the color coding here. Getting into the Job Creation Fund. So the Job Creation Fund is really the Department of Commerce and the state's deal closing fund. This fund is really utilized to bridge the gap when we are actively recruiting projects, when we are seeking new investment into the state, and it really allows us to kind of put, in layman's terms, just the cherry on top and really be able to move the needle for companies when we're actually competing against other states as well. So there are $13 million awarded within 2024. You can see the awardees over the last over 2024 within this slide. And one data point I did want to quickly touch on is this return on investment. For every dollar that was granted, we have a return of over $40 in that way, which is above and beyond previous years. I believe last year was right around 1 to 38. So we're pretty happy about that continued improvement in a return on investment. Getting into KIT and KER. KIT and KER are really our industrial and training programs and retraining programs. It's really our workforce training programs in that way. KIT assists businesses with net new job creation and training, and KER, which is the Kansas Industrial Retraining, assists with retraining employees in order to help be on new technologies, on new equipment, that sort of stuff. The next slide here shows the awardees of the KIT and KER programs, but I do want to back up and quickly touch on a couple of things. In 2024, we had about a $2 million availability of funds within this slide, or within this program. Within the years, you can see we've continued to increase that. One thing I did want to just quickly point out, in FY23 and FY24, you'll see that the total funds awarded are above this $2 million amount. These are rollover funds from previous years that are used in that way. So for KIT, you can see we awarded a total of $1.9 million. And then for KER, we awarded just over $360,000 for this program as well. Getting into our Star Bond program, during 2024, we've had a variety of ribbon cuttings. We've had a variety of projects that have become operational. A couple that I did want to just quickly touch on within this list. The Amelia Earhart Museum, which is in Atchison, opened in April 2023. The one thing to note about that, the childhood home has been a museum from that city for years, but the new project is a hangar museum, which is a Star Bond project. Blue Hawk did open up October 26th in 2024. Museum of Art and Light opened up in November of 2024, and it started construction back in 2022. Homefield, there was a ribbon cutting on April 23rd in 2024. It's a $60 million youth sports complex in Kansas City, Kansas. Heartland Park, which is here in Topeka, went through a variety of concerns, but ultimately I believe that the project is either back on track or we're working through some of those components, and we can get you some additional information there. Let's see, getting into the Angel Investor Tax Credit Program. So this is the Angel Investor Tax Credit summary, and the program itself is on a calendar year reporting, so we don't have numbers for this yet. We will have final 2024 numbers for the committee at the end of January that we will be able to get in front of you. But ultimately, accredited investors are allowed a 50% tax credit on their cash investment of up to $100,000 in tax credit in any given year in a business that qualifies as certified business as defined in statute. The Apprenticeship Act tax credits and grant program, we're pretty excited about this. This is the first year that this has actually have gone into law, so I believe we are 6 months into the program. But within this, there's a lot of success to be told. So in Executive Order number 2207 on September 6th of 2022, since the creation, the Kansas Office of Registered Apprenticeship has achieved 47% increase in new apprentices and apprenticeships in Kansas, moving Kansas from 47th in 2020 to 29th in 2024. It's a pretty good metric that I'd like to really talk about. This office really just continues to prioritize growth and sustainability, leveraging really a blended state of federal funding, blending of state and federal funding to reduce barriers and expand opportunities of the program. This has really a return on investment that was done through a study of $2.13, which surpasses the national average of $1.48 across the United States. Top 3 industries with apprentices in Kansas are construction, energy linemen, and then healthcare as well. These have an equal share of around 8 to 9% of the apprenticeship program. Getting into APEX. So APEX stands for Attracting Powerful Economic Expansion. The APEX bill was signed into law in 2022 on February 10th. This program was really leveraged for us to be able to really attract large-scale investment into Kansas. A couple of things I really wanted to touch on for this. Panasonic is the only APEX employer as of now. They've earned the investment tax credit and the sales tax credit, but they have not claimed the investment tax credit as of yet. I did want to quickly touch on a couple of benefits to the local communities with this program, and really just the benefits of Panasonic and them utilizing this program. So before any benefits have been claimed by Panasonic, DeSoto has benefited from a fire station, significant road improvements in partnership with the Kansas Department of Transportation. There is a increase in retail sales tax within DeSoto of 128%, and that's by the amount of construction workers that are on the site. I think right now there's over 3,700 construction workers on that site. And then recently DeSoto lowered their property tax mill levy, lowering property taxes by about 30% for their citizens. So we're pretty happy about the outcome of the program in that way. So in 2024, the decrease was 13.78 mils, down from 19.8 mils in 2023. And then just another note of this as well, all corporations in the state of Kansas have received the 0.5% reduction in corporate income taxes as well, just something to point out. And then I did want to just quickly touch on Integra Technologies. I know there was a lot of discussion around Integra. On February 2nd, 2023, Integra received bipartisan support from the State Finance Council, which approved the APEX agreement for their project for a million square foot facility with $1.8 billion in capital investment. This agreement was contingent upon Integra Technologies receiving CHIPS Act funding for a qualifying project. CHIPS for America process is still very much underway, and the APEX agreement deadline for October 1st, 2023. Commerce worked with Integra Technologies to identify how standard incentives could be utilized in lieu of the APEX program to support their CHIPS office application. One standpoint on this, Commerce does remain committed to Integra as a viable project, and we're excited to continue working with them and the CHIPS office to determine whether or not we can actually get this across the finish line. Getting into the Community Development Block Grant Program, I do want to apologize to Madam Chair, members of the committee. There is a math error when this slide deck was generated. These numbers are actually incorrect. This should read $13 million, so $13,363,731 total, with an average award amount of $431,088 on this. It's one of those things as we continue to go through our annual reporting and just look through this slide deck, we actually just had that small math error, so I apologize for that. This is a list of some CDBG projects that are across Kansas with their respective award amounts. And then as we get into the continued projects here, this is the CSP program. So this is the Community Service Program. Tax credits help nonprofit organizations and public healthcare entities really fund projects across. The total award amount is here just over $4 million, with an average award amount of $133,000 up for this program. This slide walks you through the actual projects throughout across Kansas with a tax credit percentage that was awarded and the award amount for the respective project as well. With that, I will stand for questions.
Thank you, Joshua. So what state did you move from and what county did you move to?
Sure. So I like to say, first and foremost, I am a recovering Californian, but I'm actually from the Phoenix metropolitan area. So I was been in economic development for a variety of years out in the Phoenix metro area. I actually married into a Midwest family, and our move here to Kansas was very intentional. So we actually moved into Johnson County. We're actually over in Lenexa.
So I'm sorry, you do not qualify for Rural Opportunity Zone. I wish I could change that, but committee, I would like to welcome a few committee members, new committee members, before we continue with questions. Senator Petty, welcome. Senator Horschler, welcome, and Representative Wynn. Yeah, welcome to the committee. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just a few couple brief questions. I think you're coming to Commerce here in the next hour or so. Welcome to Kansas. So on page 2, where it has the 2024 business development highlights, of those 5,000, or of those 269 projects, how many of those would you say would be attributable to move-in businesses, those that we attracted to Kansas versus those that were already here and established?
Sure, yeah. So of that, and we can get the solidified numbers for you. This is just kind of off the cuff from memory here. But of that, and I can give you the capital investment numbers, from the $3.5 billion in committed capital investment, just over 1.2 private capital investment is recruitment here to Kansas in that way. So as far as the number of projects, we can get that information for you.
Okay, yes, the actual number of projects, that would be helpful. And then just the last question is, we always get the capital investment. You know, you're pretty good. Commerce is great about providing that. But what we really lack a lot of times, and I don't see this in here a lot, is the fiscal impact, or that fiscal investment, what we invested for all of those dollars. So if I were to just look at this page and I would say, okay, for 2024 only, what was the fiscal impact? Do we have that?
We can certainly get that information for you. I'm assuming you're referring to all of the programs collectively?
The 269 programs just for 2024. So we understand the fiscal impact, because every dollar that we incentivize, you know, very likely that's a dollar that we don't bring in revenue in some form. So just wanted to get that.
Certainly, we can get that information for you. And also heard and noted about including that in the future.
So I would add to that request, I know you're going to provide a total. I would like to see that breakout for each program also. Thank you. Senator Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for the presentation. 2 quick questions. Number 1, on the retained jobs, and a lot of these reported you're retaining jobs, how do you calculate that? Do you actually talk to the companies and they'll tell you they plan on retaining jobs? And
Yeah, the retained job measurement is really an effort from our business retention and expansion team. Ultimately, they are communicating with the companies that are local in Kansas. These are companies that would potentially have left Kansas, and those jobs would have left Kansas, whether or not they would have been a relocation to another plant that the company currently owns outside of Kansas, or a complete exodus of the company entirely from Kansas. So through our efforts and through the programs, the retention of those jobs are us utilizing these programs to retain those jobs.
And one last question on page 37 with the JCF program. It's interesting, they've got like Kansas State University Foundation, Wichita State, committed to retaining no jobs, committed no new jobs, but yet were awarded, $6 million to Wichita State, $500,000 to Kansas State. Why?
So the JCF program affords, through the Secretary for potential economic development initiatives and support. These two programs, first the Wichita University program was matching funds for an EDA grant that is in support of development of what's called HAMMER, which is Advanced Research and Manufacturing location within their innovation park. The Kansas State University Foundation is to help facilitate within their innovation park as well, their office district, to support economic development growth potential. So ultimately, it's the development of product to be able to bring business to that area. Okay. Of that Kansas State University Foundation, there is a requirement of JCF funds and job creation and components to that.
Okay, that makes sense. One last question, sorry, Madam Chair. It seems to me like a lot of these, like on the Peak, and most of these are geared toward larger companies. I think with the Peak, I calculated if it was an average, it'd be an average of 150 employees. What do we do for the small mom and pop businesses that have 2 or 3 or 4 employees to help them? I mean, are the kit and cur? I don't see a lot of people taking advantage of that.
Yeah, it's very much, that's a great question. So it's twofold. So just in this last year, we actually created underneath my division, which is Office or Division of Business Development, we created a Office of Small Business Development because we've heard those comments, and that is something that I recognize coming to Kansas, and I believe David as well, the Lieutenant Governor, also recognized. So we really wanted to ensure that we have resources, and a lot of times it's an education component of access to these programs, and some of the small businesses not firmly understanding how to leverage that, and that's on us to ensure that we're actively communicating with that. And so that Office of Small Business Development is really geared towards becoming a liaison, an advocate, and a conduit to access to these types of resources. So we're actively working on growing that office right now and ensuring that the small business community has active engagement in that.
Yeah, I think that's a big concern because those small businesses employ an awful lot of folks. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee, any other questions? I have a couple. On page 23, you say that it's transferable, the total amount transferable. Maybe it would help address, what are you telling us, that it was money that was transferred between businesses?
Yeah, sorry, that's a great question. So when we talk about transferable tax credit requests, so up to 50% of the tax credits that are authorized by this program can be transferred or sold on the open market to the business community. So if there are other businesses that want to leverage this program and utilize those tax credits, they can be sold. And what that can do is that can bring in cash capital by a business purchasing that for a company to potentially be able to grow and utilize that as working capital.
So that slide is quite disappointing because that's all you tell us is the transferability. You don't tell us what was issued on HPIP, and we've heard from legislative post audits, those numbers, those are staggering numbers. I think it was billions in a matter of 3 years handed out. So hopefully we can get that information from you guys. Again, disappointing on that slide. Topeka Racetrack, I'm on page 41 now. Wasn't that a Star Bonds project? Weren't there other Star Bonds projects that are not listed on this page? It looks like anything that was a failure is not on this page, if I'm reading it correctly.
So
it is Kansas. No, that's a Kansas Speedway. That's different. Yeah. Could you make sure that this is a complete list of the Star Bond projects?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
And last is the Apex bill. You listed the benefits. Some of us are reaping the not-so-benefit utility increase cost. There's a few other items that impact the community. Could we get some of those for the committee also?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any other questions? Representative Tarwater.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Could you tell me how, on the ROS program, is there a sponsor required for the income tax credit on the state side?
You know,
There's not.
There's not, okay.
Yeah,
And so that's automatic?
I think so. Yeah.
It's not automatic. They have to have lived here a year, and there's certain qualifications they have to meet.
We can get that information for you.
Sorry. Sorry, Representative, I didn't mean to answer on it. Yeah.
So can you tell me, is there a waiting list still for ROS in the counties that have waiting for a sponsor?
I believe there is a waiting list for ROS. I actually had that ready for that.
It was 142 on your sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Madam Chair.
Sorry. I actually read his document. Don't quote me on 142, but I'm pretty sure that's what.
So that's fine, that's fine.
Thank you.
That's always been kind of a concern of mine, that whether or not the program actually works, especially now that you're rewarding people to go back to their home after they graduate. They're going to go there either way. And you have 143 people sitting on the sidelines waiting for the credit. They've already moved there, so they didn't move there because of this program. There's got to be a better way to spend these dollars, because I do believe we need to get people to the rural areas, but this program clearly isn't working properly. And I'd like to find a way. Maybe you can talk to some other states. What are they doing to get people to move to rural areas that is effective? Because I'd like to spend these dollars in a more effective way.
It's a great idea. I think we will absolutely engage some other states, and we'll see what they're doing as well.
Actually, the tax committee has requested extending the sunset on this program, so I would like to take a good look at that. And I said, so if you could send that to John Gaunt at the Senate Tax Committee also, so that we could have that information. That would be helpful. Great suggestion. Any other comments or questions? Senator Petty.
This is just following up on the ROS program. So when I'm looking at this table that's on 35, the total applications, that's since 2012, is this correct?
Correct, I believe so.
Thank you.
Senator Thompson.
Thank you. And this is more of a hypothetical type situation. The Trump administration has removed the requirements on electric vehicles. I've heard some battery plants in other states are laying people off or have closed. What happens if Panasonic becomes non-viable because of the change in the demand for electric vehicles and things of that nature? I mean, what happens to this money we've invested?
It's tough for me to comment on the what-ifs in that situation. I can certainly tell you from our standpoint, we will continue to do everything in our power to support Kansas business that way. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Committee, any other questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Thank you, Joshua.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, thank you so much.
Welcome to Kansas.
Thank you.
So committee, next up is committee organization. I want to thank everybody. It's been an honor serving as chairman. Very much appreciated. It was a hard-working committee. We got a lot of work done today. I want to thank Chris, Kristen, all of the legislative post-audit staff, and Tamara and the revisor's office. We pushed new boundaries this year, committee, and it was much appreciated. With that, I will turn it over to Chris to describe the process and move on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There is a copy of the committee rules in your packet. So by committee rule 4.1, at the first meeting of this session, once the session starts, the first meeting of the post-audit committee, you all elect new leadership from amongst committee members. This is an odd-numbered year, 2025, so the chair would come from the House, and the chair and the vice chair cannot come from the same chamber.
Thank you, Chris. I'll accept nominations. Representative Tarwater.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thanks for doing a great job for us this last year. You're an incredible leader, and I really like working with you. I would like to nominate another person I think will do a great job, and that is Representative Francis.
Thank you. That nomination and ditto. And it's been moved by Representative Tarwater, seconded by Representative Williams.
Yes, may I say that I second his comments as well?
Thank you. It's kind. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
So I'll go ahead and take over at this point. And Madam Chair, I do want to echo the others' comments. You did a great job this year, and we really appreciate your leadership.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I couldn't have done it without you and the rest of the team. The team reflects our work. I would like to make a nomination for vice chair.
Go ahead.
Senator Thompson.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Senator Tyson.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a nomination for the ranking.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to nominate Senator Petty.
Okay. Is there a second to the nomination? Second is by Representative Sawyer. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senator Petty to be ranking minority member, say aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations, Senator Petty. All right, committee, next on the agenda, we need to adopt the committee rules. So if everybody will go to tab B, we have the committee rules. Did you want to talk about those a little bit, Chris?
That's your call, Mr. Chair. Did you want me to run through them real quickly, or has everyone had a chance to read them? There has been no change in the last few years.
Would it be for the benefit of the new members to have a run through them, or do you want to do it on your own later on? Some of you guys are new in here, so I don't want to. Representative? Okay, Senator Petty? Okay. Are there any amendments to the existing rules? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the existing rules? Representative Williams made the motion. Is there a second? Second by Senator Peterson. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. If you want to turn to tab B, that's where you're at now. With the consent calendar first. So just for everyone's edification, new members and all, this typically includes items like approval of the minutes and also approving if we presented any audits at the committee meeting. So you'll see the same types of things on here. For today, it's very straightforward because we don't have anything audits-wise to approve. So it is simply approval of the minutes from the committee's last meeting, which was December 16th. And you can see in attachment A. So as a reminder, unless there's an objection, these would be approved, but members can abstain from voting if they were not present at the meeting.
Okay. Is there any objections to the consent calendar? Okay. Would anybody like to be listed as abstaining? Representative Nguyen? Representative Petty, or Senator Petty, I'm sorry, I promoted you accidentally. Senator Holscher, all right. If there's no other objection, we'll consider the minutes approved. All right, next item on the agenda is the next meeting date, correct? That's on tab C.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tab C is just a listing of our estimate of when we'll have reports ready for you all. It's your call as to when to meet. In December, the committee talked about meeting on Wednesdays at noon, but it's committee choice as to when meetings are.
All right, committee, let's get some feedback. Is everybody good with Wednesday noons right now? Senator Petty?
I just want to bring forward there, for example, I know the Rail Caucus is going to meet on a Wednesday. The Early Learning Caucus has 4 Wednesdays during the session that we will be meeting. Is there any possibility for any consideration of Thursday?
Thursday creates a problem in the House because we have a chairman's lunch on Thursdays. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I agree, Wednesdays are a little bit tricky because in the House, that's usually when we have all our points of privilege. That's when we get hung up there and we often are late. I know Monday is a difficult day to remember, but is that a better day?
Representative Tyson, or Senator Tyson, I'm sorry, I keep promoting you guys.
So Mondays tend to be maybe better for this committee. We can schedule around it, but we do have our new senator meeting on Mondays at noon. So, and I chair that or help organize it, but that's okay. We can, don't schedule around me. Senator Peterson might.
Well, does it meet every Monday? Or is it?
Right now it is.
Okay. Senator Peterson?
We're still only meeting once a month, correct?
Oh, no. Chris is going no.
No, we can meet as often as we have content for you, as often as you would like to meet. With these short meetings, usually they're only an hour. We can only do 1, maybe 2 audits. And as you can see on this list, we have a number coming ready in January and February. So it doesn't have to be weekly, but it's probably more than monthly.
Everybody likes that Friday date a lot more than I do from where I live. But,
We do have chair lunch in the Senate on Tuesdays, so that creates an issue there. I would prefer Monday over the others. I'm good.
are you sure that's okay?
Or
Senator?
Wednesday.
Because your experience is very important to this committee.
Oh, you're kind. Mondays, I'll make it work.
All right, so for right now, we're going to work on Mondays.
I will work with you, Mr. Chair, on kind of setting them out in the future so you all can plan accordingly. But if you look at the list, you can see the types of things that will be coming due that will be presented at these first couple of meetings.
How many of those are ready to go right now?
Right now, the ones listed for, in the January block, the water certification limited scope would be ready as early as next week, right? We have an IT security audit of USD 501 Topeka that is ready and waiting. An IT project monitoring report is ready and waiting. Those are ready now-ish, soon.
So would it be good for us to try to set a date within the next week or two on a Monday? Senator Tyson, you've got the hard schedule to work. Is there any of the next 2 Mondays that can work for you?
Mr. Chairman, I'll try to reschedule those meetings. Right now, they're booked, but it's fine. I'll get somebody either to take over. I'll get a replacement one way or the other. So thank you.
You want to let us know after you've tried to reschedule them, and then let us know what day works best for you?
On Monday, though, for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll wait back and let everybody know. We're going to try to have a meeting. What is today? This is, so we probably don't want to meet next Monday. That's probably quick to reschedule anything.
And the one after that would be February 3rd.
Yeah, let's tentatively plan on, I'm sorry, Senator Thompson.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, rather than always do Monday, maybe we could alternate, because I know there's some conflict on Wednesdays too. Rather than force them all to be rescheduled, maybe we could alternate between Monday and Wednesday so okay, it was just a suggestion. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so tentatively, we'll try to set something up for February 3rd unless, something comes up. we can be a little bit flexible. Does that sound good? All right. Is there any other further business for the committee? Again, I do want to express my heartfelt thanks for your leadership. And, you always reached out, and you're really a consensus builder, and I appreciate that, Senator. Would you like to say anything else? Or?
You guys are going to make me cry. No, this is very humbling. I can't thank you guys enough, too. And that means a lot coming from 2 former chairmen and the new chairman. So thank you, team.
All right. If there's nothing further for the good of the committee, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to introduce real quickly staff, especially for the new members. I am Director Clark of Legislative Post Audit. Kristen Rottinghouse, she's the one you contact for any audit proposals. Katrin Osterhaus, IT Security Audit Manager. Matt Etzel, Performance Audit Manager. Whitney Watson, your new committee assistant. Nicole has moved on, so you will be, if you haven't already, you'll be getting emails from Whitney. And Tamara Lawrence, our reviser of statute representative.
Thank you very much, everybody. Oh, Senator Petty. Try and wrap this thing up, and you guys keep dragging me out.
Do we leave these? Okay, thank you. And would you mind sending us out a list of the staff? Okay, appreciate it.
Okay. Anything else for the committee? I'm going to look around carefully. Okay. Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.